Mute what?
All right, you guys. All right. It is Let's Talk Tara, Meet the Coaches. It's 6 o'clock, and you guys, we want to welcome you. Make sure that you are if you just logging in, that you like and you share, make a watch party so that everybody can see this live stream. You know, if you need to text your friend, your mama, your cousin, go ahead and do that now because we want everyone to meet the coaches and hear the benefits that um, the coaches has and how they can help transform your life. So I am Tara T. Stallings. I am a master certified life coach. I am a transformational speaker. I'm an author. I am a counselor. I've been working with people, with individuals for I've been working with folks for about 27 years, but I've been a certified master life coach for over 11 years and a counselor for over 4 years. So I'm excited to be able to help the people that come across my path. And tonight, it's Meet the Coaches. It's Meet the Coaches. So tonight we're gonna go jump right into it, and we're gonna start with Jackie Dennis. We're gonna let her introduce herself so that you can meet the coach. We can't hear you, Jackie. We can't hear you.
I was muted. Hi, I'm Jackie Dennis. I am a certified wellness and nutrition coach, lifestyle coach, specialized in personal training, nutrition coaching, as well as chronic disease and diabetes prevention and diabetes management and hypertension coach. You just wanted me to introduce myself, right? Or you want? Okay.
Yes, Michael.
Yes, I'm Michael James. I'm a life coach. I've made my niche helping people discover their. I'm also an author and a musician.
Ron.
Hello, I'm Ron Garnett. I'm a finance. So what I deal with people to get their finances in order, and basically I work with people to get them money, business ventures.
And Melody.
Hi, I am Melody. I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in transformation, mental health, and spiritual. I am the founder of the Power Her Circle and the creator of the Rich Lifestyle.
All right, all right. So you guys, you have had an opportunity to just hear our coaches and hear who they are. So we're gonna jump right into it. So make sure if you're just logging on again, make sure you like and you share. Now, I'm gonna ask the coaches, either doing this live. Some of you guys have your phone, you can, but to put your information in the on the live, put your information in so that our viewers can know how to contact you. But we're going to jump right into it. So, and I'm going to just go in the order that we've been in. So make sure viewers, if you're listening, look, tag some people, make some lives. I think we lost Jackie for a second. I think we lost Jackie. So tag some people, invite some people to watch, to listen, because I think, and I don't think, I know that this will really give you understanding. This will, a lot of times we have knowledge of what a coach is, but we don't have the understanding. And you can't really have under knowledge. You can have knowledge, but if you don't have understanding, because they intertwine. They're sisters. So if you're gonna have knowledge, you need understanding. So tonight we want to bring some understanding. Let me see if we can get Jackie back on. I think we lost her. So that our viewers, our listeners, our potential clients, they know exactly what to who to look for. There's Jackie. We got her back. All right. We got her back. We got her back. Now I lost Melody.
Off
Wait a
Melody.
minute. Now I lost Melody.
We
Jackie, you're
try to
muted.
go to the chat. When we go to the chat, it just went out.
Oh, you went to the chat.
Yeah, to try to put my stuff in there and something happened.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Wait a
I
minute.
don't know what happened.
Okay.
I don't
So
even
we're
have a
gonna,
chat.
Ron. We're gonna jump right into it, y'all. Look,
Hey, I'm here.
This is what I love about live. It's live. It's transparent, and you really get to see and hear the genuineness in the persons that you're listening to. So I love it. I love it. And you guys, you know, if you seen Ron and I, Ron gives me a hard time. He gives me a hard time. So Jackie, let's go ahead with you. What's your ideal client?
Well, Tyra, everybody can be a potential client, but everybody is not going to be a client. So you understand, everybody can be a potential client, but everybody is not going to be a client because everybody is not coachable. So depending on what the individual wants, my ideal client is to people that is seeking sustainable lifestyle changes. That means changing their eating habits, changing their behaviors, the way they think about themselves, positive body image, realistic and not unrealistic goals, trying to achieve the unachievable body image, because health doesn't look the same on each person. So my potential client is to help clients to be there for lifestyle changes, not quick changes. It's okay to have short-term goals, but you want long-term goals that's going to be sustainable. Clients that come to you that can tell you what is your why. What is your why? And having a purpose and a meaning behind that why, because that is what's going to drive you through, guiding you through the journey of your health process. That wouldn't, and that's when you're learning different things about yourself, about your behaviors, about your habits, because your behavior drives habits. So when you don't change those behavior, you can lose weight real quick, but your mindset has not been renewed. So you go right back to the same cycle of trying to lose weight again. And over time, you done did that cycle so many times, you done did more damage than good. So I'm about sustainable changes and being the best you and your best healthy that you can be.
That's awesome, Jackie. That's awesome. You know, we talk a lot all the time. So I just really love that sustainable why. So, you know, and what you said, everybody's not going to be coachable. Everybody can be, but everybody may not be ready to have the mindset to be coachable. Michael, would you share with our listeners who is your ideal client and why?
Great question, Tara. My ideal client would be someone who is seeking greater fulfillment out of life. You know, this may not be the person who's so depressed that they're ready to jump off of a bridge, but this may be the person who's actually making enough money to pay their bills, but there's something missing. They're doing their 9 to 5, but they don't really feel like they're really living out the true purpose of why they are on the planet. So ideally, my ideal client is someone who realizes they are meant for more and they have not maxed out their potential. They're ready to unlock it. Number 2, Tara, my ideal client will probably be someone who is having trouble expressing their purpose, perhaps because they're having a lot of time challenges. You know, so some of my clients in the past have been moms who are wearing multiple hats. They're mom, they're a career professional, they're working in their church, they're working in their community, they're a part-time nurse. And so because they're juggling so many things, oftentimes their purpose doesn't get truly expressed because they are really trying to be a jack of all trades and a master at none. And so oftentimes throughout my sessions, I'm helping a person who already has a sense of purpose. I'm just helping them express it with more clarity by setting proper boundaries in their life so that they're not pulled apart at the seams.
Oh wow, Mike, I like how you said that. You know, a lot of people do have a sense of purpose, but they need someone to help them navigate their
Say that.
life through those areas because they have so many things going on and they just don't know how to navigate it in the right direction so that they can maximize it. I love that. I love that what you said.
Thank you.
Ron,
Yes.
who would be
Well, in thinking about this, as far as getting people financing for business purposes, there are two types of ideal clients that I have. One is someone who wants to start a business. That's a person who's employed and startup go into a business either part time or full time.
we're having some technical difficulties. We can't hear you.
Time, a few years, have
Are you still there, Ron? I can't. You kind of
$1,000 and had
okay.
them funding. Now, on the other hand, another idea is, and a business does not have to be super successful, but it needs to be making 40, 50,000.
I think we're having some on Ron's end. We're having some technical difficulties, so we'll see if we can get him to come back in a little bit because we can't really hear. So it's no volume with Ron. So Melody, would you share with our viewers? We'll move on. We'll come back to you, Ron, if once it kind of levels out. Would you share with our viewers um, who is your ideal client and why?
My ideal client would be a female, a woman that is tired of just going around in the same circles. Sometimes we go from day to day in this life. We have those goals, we have those dreams, but we just don't know how to formulate the structure that is needed to see those come forth and to manifest. So those would be my ideal clients, those that have decided that they're tired of going around in the same circles. They want to actually see their dreams come into fruition and to have that structure and that guidance as to what they need to do or how they can do it, and also to face the challenges that they may have faced in the past to make those changes in their lives. And it can be financial, it can be just day to day life, their lifestyle, being health, financial, their thought patterns, their mindset. Those would be my ideal clients.
I like that what you said. Those people that are tired of going around in circles. Um and it's so many people, especially in this day and time, that people um have gone around in circles and they need to help someone again, like Michael, just kind of navigate them, kind of show them, how to uh, get what that lifestyle, that goal, that dream to manifest. Um, and essentially, that's kind of what Michael and Jackie and we all kind of help people get to that goal, to stop, to break cycles so that they can get the manifested life that they've always dreamed of, they've always wanted. I had a conversation earlier today, and I want you guys to kind of address it because so often people don't believe that they can achieve the life that they um they envision. They can achieve their life. Sometimes most of the time they think it's for somebody else. But Jackie said something earlier that people don't want to process through the plan. So I'm gonna start with you, Michael. Share a little bit with that with our audience, on those individuals that they've been kind of going around in a circle, and they've gotten used to the chaos, but they know, hey, I know it's something else better for me. How would you help those clients, or say, what I have, I can help you get to your dreams, or achieve your dreams and your visions?
Awesome question. When you said people have gotten used to the chaos, I like to say they become functional in their dysfunction. Kind of like when you walk in a person's house and the smoke alarm every 5 minutes goes beep. Someone coming into that house for the first time would be like, this is a bit of a nuisance. You need to fix that. But the person who's been in that room for the last 5 years, they don't even notice it because they've become so comfortable. And so one thing I would do with the person who's stuck and who's become functional in their dysfunction is ask them, if there was one area of your life that you could change, which area would that be? That's one way I would do this. Here's another way, Tara, I would like to approach this situation. I have a life wheel, and I'll use that a lot of times with my clients. And that life wheel may have several spokes. It may have a family spoke. It may have a recreational spoke. It may have a financial spoke. And each spoke is a part of that person's life. And what I like to do is start from the center of the wheel, and we call that zero. That's the worst life ever. Like if I was at a zero in my financial life, it means I actually don't have enough money to pay my bills. I'm always having to ask a family member or a friend. A 10, however, on that same spoke may be, I don't even think about money. Money's like oxygen. I just inhale and I got everything I need. So after we have a client identify where they are on each spoke, here's a powerful question. And we all know this. This is what coaching really does. We ask powerful questions that helps a person dig. I say dig into the recesses of their mind, dig into the core of who they are. So a powerful question I would ask is, okay, so Johnny, you circle 3 in the area of your finances. Tell me more about that. And I would let Johnny describe to me, well, I have a job, but I kind of would like more than one stream of income. And so then I might ask Johnny, what would it take to take your 3 to a 6? And so a lot of times just getting people to dream and think ahead. Hey, this is where you are. This is your current reality. Tell me what it would look like to take this 3 of a relationship, the 3 of your love life. What would it take to take that 3 to a 5? And so, Tara, what I'm really doing is I'm getting this person to start having a new picture. And here's the real issue. A lot of times our self-image and our faith for life is based off of the pictures that we see in our mind. And sometimes if we've grown up in a culture, in a home culture where we didn't see people winning, we're comparing ourselves to them and we feel like, well, this is normal. My mom and dad didn't have no money. Mom and dad's marriage wasn't that great. And so I don't have a picture of what greater looks like. I think the moment we can help a person see a bigger picture, that's the magic elixir. At least I got them thinking about something bigger or ahead of where they are right now.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that, Will. I use something similar with my clients. Actually, when I teach my courses, I use that. And it's so needed because so often people get conditionalized. They get conditioned to the environment and the lifestyle that they've always had or what they've always seen, and they can't envision anything more than what they've always seen. I'm always going to be here. My family was like this. This is a part of my, being. This is what other people think of me, and they get stuck up under this cap. Jackie, can you speak about that a little bit?
Yes, and I like what Mike said, and I immediately wrote down things, and I used some of the similar things, and the first thing I asked my clients, where are you right now? Where are you right now? For your age? What are you doing right now? The choices that you're making, your behaviors, is it conducive for your well-being? Is it working for you? Because if it's not working for you, that means we need to step back and we need to make some changes. And we need to look at the areas where we need to make these changes at. And that's how I kind of get my clients to write things down. What is working for you right now? Because if this is working for you, you just continue to improve in that. But if this is not working for you and they're not producing um, better choices or better behaviors in your life, we need to step back and see why. Let's look at that. Let's dig a little bit more. Why can't you do this, or why haven't you done it, or why do you want to do it? Because it all goes back to that why, to your what. Because that is what's going to keep you grounded. I like to say that the why is the foundation of the motivation, because that's going to keep driving you forward when you continue. It's going to hold you accountable. And I like what you said, Tyra, environment. We become a product of our environment. And a lot of time, us as coaches, I dealt with a client, and I think Mike said it, a person can be in a certain area, and they can be like, okay, this fine to me, but you looking at it, it's like, oh my goodness. But it's something somewhere in a person's brain that has not been triggered yet. And we have to activate it. We have to help activate it. We can't do it for them, but we have to get them to talk about it until it clicks. And that's how we get them to help change their mindset, because it's certain things that they have not been conditioned and been around. If you haven't been around a loving mother, a loving father, you don't know how to receive love from a father, a mother. It's not that you don't want to, you just haven't been conditioned to do it. So it's a part of the brain there that has not been activated that needs to wake up. And the same thing with weight loss and losing weight. You're a product of your environment. So as coaches, we come in. So some coaches are hard. It's hard to coach some people, but you have to know the right question to ask them and be sympathetic and know your clients, and knowing where they are, comprehensively knowledgeable where they are, and deal with them at the level they're at.
Oh, I love that, Jackie. I love that. I love that what you said. We have to really be mindful of our clients, and they have to have a mindset change. I often say, even on that wheel in life, you may have someone that's, they may have they be fine in their finances, they may be fine in their health, but they're off in relationship. They're off in another area. And what I have realized is our life is supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be synergetic. And if you're not living a life that's synergetic, it's kind of like, that old seesaw. You're up on this side and you're down on this side. And Mike said, well, if it's your business and you're at a 3, what can I get you? How can I get you at a 6? Because you want to be synergetic in every area. So the whole is greater than the sum. If you get your life in balance, the whole of it is going to be greater, and it will produce a life of continual increase. Melody, would you share with our audience, address that question that we were talking about? How would you address your client? You're muted, Melody.
I'm sorry. The first thing we would do is there would be a conversation about where they are right now. Because I truly believe that we have to move from dreamers to visionaries, because dreams can be fleeting. One day I could be dreaming of being a doctor. I could be dreaming of being a millionaire, but can I actually envision myself being there? And to envision myself, am I willing to take the necessary steps to be there? Or am I just dreaming it? So I would take the client and let's figure out where they are and where can they actually envision themselves based on what they need to do to get to where they need to be. And we would then work with the client based on their particular needs and their lifestyle of what come up with a plan to be where they want to be. But the first thing is getting the mindset of not only being a dreamer, but actually moving into a visionary state.
Yes, Melody, I love that because so many people think they confuse dreams and visions, and they're totally different. People say, "Well, I've always dreamed of this." Well, we dream of a lot of things, but until you make it your vision, you can't see it. Because a vision is something that you can see, that you can actually see yourself, you can taste it, you can feel it. It's colorized, it's moving. And so often people have dreams. Now, dreams can become visions. They can move to the vision category, but most of the time they end up staying in that dream zone and they never get to vision zone. And even at vision zone, you have to process to see the vision come to fruition. Ron, would you share with our listeners, even as it relates to our finances and those people that are in business or are looking to expand their business, how you would address that question?
Well, the first thing I would tell somebody is that a vision is something that you have to really stand. It just doesn't come to you. You have to work for it. And people must have a realistic idea of effort that it takes for a vision to be achieved. And it's never a stagnant thing because once you reach a certain milestone, for example, there's always another one out there for you to aspire to. You never just settle. You always are visions that you are trying to reach. Now, in my situation, I will always tell them that the financial component, which I deal with, is something that can be there. But money alone is not get vision reached. I mean, I could get you the money for you put the time and effort and vision into it to make it a reality or reach that destination that you are looking for. I would always tell people, don't stop achieving, don't stop learning, don't stop trying, stop, trying to get better at what you're trying to do.
Thank you,
You all able
Ron.
to hear me?
Yeah, okay, you now. It was kind of went out a little bit. Yes, good. I like that what you said. You people, you have to
Everything is
work.
frozen on my end.
Oh, okay. So people
Tar-
have to actually work the vision. They have to really work it um so that it can come to fruition. And I so often people don't
okay,
realize
but
you don't want to put a cap on your life. You want to always be progressive. Even when you reach um the vision that you envision. Okay, I envision myself a millionaire with a 5-bedroom house and a Bentley. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, you reached that. Well, is that what is okay? You've reached that. You saw yourself there, but it's much more to you than that 5-bedroom house, that Bentley. It's much more of who you are. So often when I encounter people that once they reach a milestone or the milestone, they cut it off. They feel like, okay, this is it. This is what God has envisioned for me. And I share with them, um, especially if they bring the God piece in. I share with them. He says that he came this for you to have life and have it more abundantly. It doesn't mean that, oh, I'm gonna cap you off. He has a broad, that means, okay, you've reached here. Now look, what greater heights can you reach now? So often we stop ourselves at certain levels because we don't have the right person, as Michael said, to show them, hey, let me expand your vision. Let me help you see what else can you achieve. What else in life can you obtain in life? Why just stop here? If you're financially stable, well, we can always use more money. If you made it to $1 million, you can make it to 2 million. So, and a lot of times we see, I listen to some millionaires. I'm on Clubhouse. I love Clubhouse, and I listen to these millionaires, and they talk, and they're always talking about how to make more money. You don't just stop because you have $5 million. Well, you want to make that 5-10, and then you want to make it 100 million, and then you want to keep going, because guess what? You never cap yourself off. And with that, and then again, you have to be synergetic, because money does not make you happy. It just makes you have enough resources to get what you need. Because if you have all that money and your health is lacking, you're gonna be rich, and somebody else is gonna spend that money. Somebody's gonna spend that money. So I want to kind of move into, so we want to be mindful when we as our listeners, I want you to be mindful that you don't want to cap yourself off. So coaches are here to help you bring out the potential in you, help navigate you through life so that you can achieve your highest achievable goal. I say this: don't stop achieving until you close your eyes. Until it's time to go or cross over, don't stop achieving. So as it relates to the stigma, because I think we got a little bit more time, I want you guys to kind of touch on this, because we are all African-American coaches, and counseling in itself is a stigma with African-Americans. If it's not the medical doctor, they're not going. Even with, I would say, with exercise, just the last few years, we have gotten better to go and pay for a trainer to get some professional help to get our health intact. Because I remember when I was growing up, somebody said, well, you gonna pay to lose weight? Yeah. I'm paying to gain it. So, Michael, would you share about the stigma in the African-American community that a lot of, not everybody, but a lot of people have related to getting a coach or a consultant to help them go to the next level in life?
Totally. I believe the home is our first of a lot of things. I believe home is the first government. Home is the first school. Home is the first billboard of how we develop appetites for any part of our life. With that being said, in the African-American experience, we've got to all ask ourselves, what was the label and the perspective and the stigma that our parents put on services such as therapy or counseling? And let's just be honest, growing up as a kid, I never heard the word coaching from a standpoint of taking your potential in life to the next level. When I heard coach, it was always in association with sports. And so I think the first thing is we've got to, I think of a truth-based principle that says in all thy getting, and we get a lot of stuff today. We get jobs, we get clothes, we get shoes, we get gifts for Christmas. But in all thy getting, get an understanding. And I think here's the real crux of the matter, Tara. Often, I think in the African-American community, we have not considered ourselves sometimes, at least in this modern day, 3-part beings. We are spirit. And, one of the best ways to have a real life example of what that really means is think about the last funeral you went to. You saw your loved one there, but that wasn't enough for you. That wasn't enough to keep the tears in your eyes. Why? Because that was just their physical remains. And so oftentimes what we're really grieving over when we lose a loved one It's the God expression on the inside of them. It's the spirit man. And oftentimes we can't really make a differentiation of how close the spirit is to the soul, your ability to think, your ability to feel, and your ability to decide. So I think sometimes in the African American community, we tend to downplay what we can't explain with our mind. So because I can't explain how the spirit and soul works, it must not be that important. So we'll go to the doctor's office perhaps to get a checkup, but many of us may not be making a huge investment in our soul man. About 5 years ago, I came across a group of entrepreneurs in the Atlanta area, and my association with them completely took my reading game to the next level. I started reading a book every month, and then I got into a rhythm and a pace of reading kind of self-growth material. So I started reading 2 and 3 books a month, and I noticed it improved my speaking ability. It improved my speaking ability when I would teach or be called on to go give a motivational speech or even preach at church. I was able to pull from several different sources because of that reading that I was doing outside of the actual event I was, hired to do. Making a point here, oftentimes we invest in ourselves more from the neck down than we do from the neck up. And so one of the first things we've got to do as an African American people is go back to our roots and realize that our ancestors believed that we are spirit. And I think this modern day way of living, we have gotten away from our true roots. But at the basis of our ethnicity, our ancestral background, we are spirit, we have a soul, and we live in a body. So if it's healthy, if it's the right thing to go to a doctor and get a checkup to take care of your physical body, then we also have to start telling ourselves it's healthy to make sure my mind is right. How do we get a healthy mind? Energy simply has to go somewhere. And when energy is not flowing properly, that's how we get things like gout, toxins in your body. When you don't have a good channel for energy to flow, toxins build up. The body begins to speak out to us, letting us know something's wrong. A lot of times swelling is the body's way. Inflammation is the body's way of saying, hey, you need to check on me. But what about mental? Sometimes people are committing suicide. Sometimes people are killing each other. We are not talking about things that really hurt our feelings. We don't address conflict. All of these are signs of an unhealthy emotional person. And so, just like we've put emphasis on the body, I think in the African American experience, we've got to start telling people it's okay to take care of your soul. It's okay to take care of your mind. Take a load off. Go do something that doesn't involve your phone. Restore relationship with someone that you've not really forgiven. I think we need to start putting more emphasis on health. When we do that, I think people will be able to look at professions like we have as a coach, counselor, therapist, and we don't look so stigmatized anymore. Because I don't. I thank God for the coaches in my life. I have a coach. I have several coaches, and I love now being in learning or self-growth environments because I know that that's going to add value to me. And as I increase my personal value, it just opens even more doors of how much value I can give to other people. So I guess in a long story short, Tara, we've just got to renew our minds that we are three-part beings and every part of us needs to be healthy, spirit, soul, and body.
I like how you said that. I like how you brought in that spirit, soul, and body because the look, most African Americans, and they know something about church. They know if they just know one, God wept, Jesus wept. That's the only thing they know. They know something about church. And it says the word of God tells us to be renewed in our mind. And listen, you can't be if you have to be renewed in your mind before you can even tap into the spirit. Because if your mind is not right, you're gonna tap into a spirit, but it may not be the spirit. So you gotta be, and then even your body. So Melody, I want you to share a little bit with our listeners, that stigmatism that you have encountered or with coaching and just the environment of the African American community in general.
I think, Tara, with some of it, it goes back generations. When you look at the African American community, we really didn't have access to all forms of health and wellness care. So what happened with that, it became labeled as something of other nationalities. Let me say it that way. Because they did have access to those different things. So when us not having access to the health and wellness arena, it then became a stigma to us. And we became conditioned and taught that you deal with it. We just learn to deal with it. And that goes back generate hundreds of years. You know, you deal with it. And part of it goes to that phrase that we hear all the time. What happens in this house stays in this house. So there were those uncles, there was those sisters, there were those daughters, those nieces, their aunts or whatnot that actually had issues that should have been diagnosed, but we became conditioned with it and we said, oh, you know, that's just them. And we're still doing it within our community now. Instead of addressing those issues and seeking the help for those that may need the help, we still look at it as what happens in this house stays in this house. And oh, you just know that's such and such. We've got to get to a point where we are educated enough to know that our minds need to be changed, that there is a form of wellness out there that we as African Americans can take a part of. And it's for our betterment. We're not in this alone by ourselves. There are trained professionals that can help us. And I think a lot of it also needs to start within the church, because the church for African Americans, that is our hospital. That is our wellness arenas. But when you're sitting in a congregation and you're being told, oh, just do this, just pray. I believe there's nothing wrong with prayer. Prayer does work, but sometimes you need prayer and a coach, or you may need prayer and a therapist, or you may need prayer and a psychiatrist. You need that help. So I think once we start tackling it within that arena and having those conversations and providing that education, then we can take the stigma off of it. Start having those conversations with your children as well. I had mentioned to you one time before, Tara, me and my grandson was just talking, and he was like, Mimi, you know, that's got my anxiety level on high. And I'm like, what you know about anxiety? You 11 years old. What you know about the phrase anxiety? He knew about it. He knew that was something that was a concern for him, and he did not mind expressing it to me. And I was shocked, but then I was happy because he knew what triggered him. So that gives him a better playing field because he knows his triggers and how to handle it from that point. So we've got to start having that education, I think, within our community, talking about it.
Thank you. I like how you said that, you know, just it's generational. So Jackie, we have a few minutes. I want you and Ron to kind of touch on it also. Um, from the stigma. I know Jackie would exercise.
I mean, Mike kind of said a lot, and Melanie, we all on one accord, but, and I go back to the word of God. My people are destroyed of a lack of knowledge. And because they ignore it, you know, they stumble all over themselves. Without a vision, people perish. They stumble all over themselves because they don't know who they are. And a lot of times in the Black American community, we don't know who we are. Working in a fitness facility, we don't even require better because of our environment, becoming that product of our environment. We don't even require better. We don't want better. And that frustrated me so much working in the fitness facility as a director. You know, they'll rather go to the doctor and get Percocet and all this other stuff instead of doing these things and getting a coach, because coaching is foreign in the Black community. Mental health coach, all this is foreign. Oh, we don't do that. You know, other races do that, but we don't do that. Like Miller said, we are taught to just deal with it. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I know you used to say we are what we eat, but I say we are what we absorb. Every cell in your body is eavesdropping on everything you say and on everything you do, and it gives back to you everything that you give to it. So it is physically affecting your body silently. That's just like the word says, you know, about the eating those little foxes for the vine, just chipping away, chipping away. And before you know it, you just done cracked open and just done fell apart. No, God sent people to us. He sent psychiatrists, he sent doctors, he sent coaches, he sent these people to us to help us. Prayer, yes, pray, fast, but we need some physical touch. We are spiritual beings having an earthly experience right now. We are spirit, we have a soul, we live in a body. We are tripart being, we are created as a whole. And that's how God created us, and that's how we are wired. But in some areas, somewhere, like I said earlier, a lot of people have just not been ignited somewhere chemically imbalanced. They have not yet clicked there. So we have to be sympathetic with them. But it is a stigma in the Black community, and it still is. Mental health. And it's all about wellness. It's all about wellness, taking better care of ourselves. I worked and retired from a medical facility. So I seen where people rather take the medication versus making lifestyle changes. Because in the long run, the medication is causing other problems and other issues long term. So it's better to help me try to make these changes, small changes as I go. And I think we get into so much comparing ourselves or what the society say, what health look like or what size health is. It isn't. It's being your healthier you. And as we age, things are going to change. So there's going to be adjustments that we have to make in our process. So we may not see. And a lot of us are still trying to make changes back. Some of the changes we try to make changes from when we was 20, 30 years old. No, that didn't change. You done moved on. You need to reset some goals in your 30, your 50, 60, 70. Those things to change. You can't do no cartwheel and all this stuff no more and eat that way anymore. So now you need to make some more adjustments. So if you're out there trying to set goals from your 20s and 30s, those you got to look at setting goals where you at right now. What is it that I need right now to be my healthier me?
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Ron, come on, take us out. We got like 2 minutes, Ron. I know, especially, and I would love for you to address how when it comes to finances, how especially in the African American community, when it relates to business, how we have been conditioned to spend our own money instead of spending their money to get ahead.
Okay. Well, okay. First of all, in the African American community, we have been conditioned to say, in a lot of instances, that we have been brainwashed to think we cannot own our own business, we can't run our own business, which isn't true. Especially in the South, if you look at white business, you find the workers are all Black who run the thing, and the white person are front taking money. So we do have the capacity to run our own business. Now, one thing that we have in our community is that we are used to going to a bank for money. If the bank tells you no, then that's just the end of it, which isn't true. I'll go a mentor. When I first started working with SCORE, I had a white partner who worked for a Fortune 500 company. And when I taught alternative finance, he was very familiar with it because that's all they used. They used alternative financing and they used it all the time. But Black people are suspicious of it because they said if a bank says no, there are other sources out there we don't want to use them because we don't think they are legitimate. Well, they are legitimate. They work alongside banks all the time. But what we have to do, what you have said, I think I'd have faith. You got to have faith in yourself that you can do it And a lot of black businesses will say, I don't have any debt. So I'm happy with that. But you can't grow if you got no debt, because if you have debt, most people wouldn't own a house or a car or furniture or anything inside, because all that has to be financed. So if you are a business and you were saying, I want to grow without any debt, you're only growing it to the extent that you could come out your own pocket and pay for what you need to do. You're never going to grow so far. You're not going to make that much money to grow to where you possibly can be. So we got to have faith and we got to have vision. And we got to
All
be
right,
willing to take a risk that if we borrow money, we can pay it back and make it.
Ron, there's an echo. I don't know. A lot of our listeners said there's an echo, so they couldn't hardly hear you really good. But we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank all the coaches for coming on tonight. Make sure you drop your information in the live in the feed so that our listeners can know how to contact you and reach you for your services. You guys, we thank you for tuning in and joining us tonight on this Monday, Meet the Coaches. And we'll be back on in the next few weeks. And we're going to be talking about, different stigmas and different things so you can really get a understanding. I think it was Michael said about, we get a lot of things. We get a lot of knowledge, but we don't always get understanding, and they go together. So we want to make sure we have a good understanding so that we can listen. My word for 2020 is dominate. It's dominate. And it's time to dominate your life in every area of your life. Jackie, I've been getting up exercising again because you got to have that synergy. You got to eat right. You got to make sure you got a balance in every area.
Absolutely. Just know, my word is just know who you are. Look at yourself through God's lens, because his is bigger, it's more focused, it's clear. So that's me looking at myself through his vision, through his lenses.
Yeah.
And not my own. Yes.
Thank you. All right, you guys. Make sure for our viewers to like and share. Share it again. Share it. Make sure you go to everybody's Facebook page and follow them. And look, find us on IG if you have an IG account, and like us on IG. All right. Until next time, you have met the coaches for tonight. Thank you, guys.